November 20th. Meeting of the Lewis and Clark County Commissioners, and we welcome you, and you have as much fun as we do. Let's say the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, well. Marni's here. Oh, good. I am Candace Payne. I'm the chair of the commission at this point. To my left is Commissioner Sean Rolfe. To his left is Brandy, or it could be Brandy or Brandy there. She is our recording secretary. Good morning.
Morning.
Mr. Brandy. To my right is Andy Hunthausen, and Commissioner Extraordinaire, although he wears purple today.
Chair Payne, isn't there we take up a collection that so that he doesn't have to wear that old dirty kind of ugly
moving right along to his right is the representative from the county attorney's office, the deputy county attorney Nico Hash and TJ Murphy. Thank God they got a name tag for them. Like it is initials right. And Roger Balls, our CAO. Good morning, Roger. We have an agenda on the top or on the table at the front of the chamber. Yeah. And a sign-in sheet, so anybody who is attending should sign their name and be recognized. Number one on our agenda today is consent action item 2A, vendor claim report for week ending November 21st, 2025. And Marni Bentley is in the chamber, however, Roger Balls usually does honors here. Roger?
Thank you, Chair Payne and Commissioners. Commissioner Payne, you just read the title of the item into the record, so staff recommends approval of item 2A. Thank you very much.
And thank you. And just for the record, we have all looked at that report. It's a report about this thick, and our friend Marni provides it for us. And we have questions, we ask her. Okay. Is there any questions from the commission? Andy, what are you doing? You're what? Oh, okay. Seeing no questions, is there any public comment? Seeing no public comment, I would entertain a motion.
Chair Payne, I would move to approve the consent action item 2A vendor claims report for the week ending November 21st, 2025, claimed by Roger Balls.
Second. It's been moved and seconded that we approve the vendor claims report for the week ending November 21st, 2025. Is there any comment from? May I ask for the? Is there any comment from the commission? Seeing no comment, we've had our public comment, and all those in favor of approving the vendor claims report indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Marni. Action item 3A, contract between Lewis and Clark County and Eagle Ridge Road Association as presented by Jessica Makus.
Good morning, Chair Payne and Commissioners. My name is Jessica Makus, Special Districts Program Coordinator for Lewis and Clark County.
She too has on the Bruce Lee shirt. I want you to know. She does.
Before you this morning is a contract with Eagle Ridge Road Association, provides snow removal and related maintenance within the Eagle Ridge RID located in Lewis and Clark County. Work under this contract will be completed as needed, as the need for this maintenance arises in this RID. This maintenance was solicited through a request for qualifications advertised in the Helena Independent Record on September 20th, 2025 and September 27th, 2025. Statements of qualifications, or SOQs, were accepted and unsealed on a rolling basis beginning Monday, October 6th, 2025 and the acceptance period closed on October 20th, 2025. This type of solicitation was used with the intent to create a roster of qualified contractors to work with through the 2025-2026 winter season. Because we accepted SOQs on a rolling basis, contracts have been presented to you as they have been developed. For this fifth round, this is the final statement of qualification that was received, reviewed, and accepted by the Public Works Department staff, with rates negotiated and contracts drafted based on the information included in the SOQ. We received a total of 20 contractors for snow removal. Staff recommends approval of contract with Eagle Ridge Road Association and authorize the chair to sign contract documents. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. Is there any questions from the commission? Is just for my curiosity, we've got a total of these contractors. Is that generally the number of contractors you get per year?
Chair Payne, that's a great question. We're a little bit above our average number. So I believe last year we had 18, this year we have 20. We've kind of steadily gone up the last years, which has been great. So with this number of contractors, it just makes that service time a little bit more achievable. Contractors are able to get out into these RIDs a little bit more quickly, and they have a little less on their plate, so it helps us manage these a little bit more effectively. So it's great for us and great for the residents.
I was gonna say, everybody, we have happy constituents. Right, okay, thank you, Jessica. Anything else? Is there any public comment? Seeing no public comment, I would entertain a motion.
Japan, I move that we approve a contract between Worcester County and Eagle Ridge Road Association.
Second. It has been moved and seconded that we approve the contract with Eagle Ridge Road Association as presented by Judge Makus. Is there any further discussion from the commission? Seeing none, all those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Jessica. Next on our little roadshow is item 3B, comment for a court order division. And this will be explained by Christal Ness. Christal.
Good morning, Chair Payne Commissioners. Christal Ness, Development Services Supervisors. This morning you have before you the ability to comment on what is going to be a court order division. This particular court order division is being driven by a verified petition for distribution of trust property and termination of the revocable trust. This trust was created for the Richard C. Shortridge and Betty M. Shortridge as the Revocable Living Trust to provide for them during their lifetimes. The petitioners became successor co-trustees following the May 17th, 2018 death of Richard Shortridge and effective upon the May 18th, 2020 death of Betty M. Shortridge. Lisa Alexander was supposed to be one of the co-petitioners or co-successor trustees, and she assigned all of her rights and obligations to her daughter, Tracy Alexander. So the court order division statutes 7238-213 provides the grounds for the petition, and 7238-213-2M allows the court to approve or direct the modification or termination of a trust upon a petition from the trustee or beneficiary of the trust. 7238-411-2 allows an irrevocable trust may be terminated upon consent of all of the beneficiaries if the court concludes that the continuation of the trust is not necessary to achieve any material purpose of the trust. As part of this termination of the trust co-successors have also asked for distribution of the land that's involved in this trust. It's a 50.31 acre parcel located west of Lincoln. I've got my trusty map here.
I always hope so.
So we're going west of Lincoln. This is the parcel that we're talking about right here, off of the Blackfoot Valley Ranch Road. It's a 50.31 acre parcel. It currently has 2 address points. There's a small cabin and a small travel trailer on the property. The Department of Revenue lists this as 45.595 acres of timber and a small non-qualified ag land. There's a creek, as you can see, that traverses the property. So there's a potential for high groundwater in the area that may affect any possible septic systems for the petitioners when and if they decide to develop this property. I'm going to minimize this. I have loaded here the proposed survey for this property. There we are, proper orientation. So here are our 2 address points on this property. The heirs have, or the co-successors and the co-petitioners have proposed to divide this property into 3 equal tracts of 11.123 acres. Our mission here today is to provide a comment to the court relative to this court order division, and my staff report goes through those recommendations that I would make relative to this court order division. A certified copy of the court's order needs to be recorded with the clerk and recorder. This will happen just before the recording or the filing of the survey. The court's order should instruct the co-petitioners a certificate of survey is required to be prepared pursuant to 763401. The court's order should instruct the co-petitioners the certificate of survey should also apply with the administrative rules. The court's order should instruct the co-petitioners the certificate of survey should show all accesses and utility easements created by the court's order or as agreed to by the co-petitioners. As you can see, we've got access here in the northwest corner, and we have a easement that's proposed right here to get to the parcel in the middle, and we have an easement to the east that will provide access to this eastern parcel. We want to make sure that at least this easement is dedicated on the survey that they're going to be filing. The court's order should instruct the co-trustees to all execute the certificate of survey prior to filing. The court's order should instruct the co-trustees to execute each and every deed conveying the property pursuant to the approved distribution. The court's order should instruct the co-trustees that deeds shall be recorded conveying the property pursuant to the approved distribution. And the court's order should instruct the co-trustees that future development of the property for residential use will require compliance with all other applicable state, county, and local rules and regulations. And I'm here for any questions you may have.
I have a question for you, Christal. I'm looking at the easement crossing the lot that is not a part of this division there on the far east side. Owner Joe Grandboy. And that, has that been a long time easement? Was that there in the mom and dad's ownership?
Chair Payne, I'm going to try to slide this over a little bit and I'll maximize my survey.
Great.
You can see that this easement document is this easement is pre-existing pursuant to this document.
And so it does have access then to a road on that section line?
Yes, there is. Again, I believe that we have a county road. Yes, South Beaver Creek Road is located right here. And the access will come across this property here to this parcel on the east.
Thank you. I just love maps, you know. Be clear. Okay. Are there any other questions from the commission? Any?
If I might, we're doing something a little bit more here than we normally have done in these, and that's, if I understand it right, we're asking the court to resolve this agreement. Is that right?
Chair Payne, Commissioner Rolfe, we are not asking the court to dissolve this trust. The co-successors and co-petitioners have petitioned the court to dissolve the trust and distribute the property. Our goal is simply to provide comment to the court about the particular division of land.
And is there anything different here than what we've done in the past for these court order divisions?
Chair Payne, Commissioner Rolfe, this is the first time that we have seen a request to dissolve a trust that provided for trustees that have since been deceased. And then the co-successors have requested that the trust be dissolved because the trust is no longer doing what its job was, which was to provide for the beneficiaries of the trust. So they have requested that the court dissolve the trust and distribute the property.
Chair Payne, if I might just ask our legal counsel, is there anything that would prevent us from doing that, making that request, or would it affect anything we've done differently than what we've done with that?
Of course, Chair Payne, Commissioners, so with any court order division of land, there's just a myriad of ways in which folks through the statutory process file actions in order to have a court partition the land or divide the lands. The exemption that allows the county to provide comments on subdivision planning. So on one hand, we don't care what vehicle they're necessarily using to subdivide property. What we care is what's ultimately going to be the outcome of all those lots. And so how this group, so to speak, has chosen to do that, that's up to them in the court, essentially, to figure out who did that. Our review is to say, first and foremost, are they trying to do this to avoid the subdivision and planning act? Generally, we don't see that happen because people absolutely can create trusts, right? As Ness explained, the purpose of the trust no longer exists. Here's how we're going to go about partition those properties. So this isn't any different than any of the other corporate partitions that we've looked at. This is probably the first one what I'll use this vehicle to do that way, but this isn't any different than the other opportunities we've had to comment on proposed partitions.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. Now I have a question for you. You mentioned, or someone mentioned, that the likelihood of this being turned into split up further each of these lots could be, are they going to have to go through so they've got septic tanks and drain fields and all those environmental issues down the road?
Madam Chair and Commissioners, yes. So when folks go through the subdivision exemption, you create your lots without any further. You have the opportunity to comment on what's about to happen. So, for example, track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4. So if they were going to further subdivide, they would have to go back either through subdivision DEQ review, or they would go through another exemption. Or when someone went to put a home on track 1, track 2, track 3, or track 4, they're still going to need to comply with all the other regulations. So there's still going to be that oversight. This is by creating this, it doesn't. I guess it doesn't create a situation where there won't be any review in perpetuity forever for all of the spots. It's just this one snapshot.
Thank you, people. No, these decisions we make, they last a long time. And 20, 30 years from now, people could come back and say, you should sue the county because, well, anyway.
Chair Payne, Commissioners, we are not creating the lots. The court is going to be creating the lots through their court order. We are simply providing comment to the court about those things that we see on the ground that the court should instruct the co-petitioners of things that they need to do relative to their responsibility, filing the survey, filing the deeds, doing all of those things, and then notifying them at the same time that there's a potential for high groundwater here, and they're going to have to deal with our on-site septic rules and regulations when and if they decide to put a house on these properties.
Tom,
I think that really clarifies it for me. Thank you for the.
this is a hopeful discussion. Any other comments? Is there any public comment? Well, we in the crowd here, didn't we? Seeing no further public comment, could I have a motion, please?
Chair Payne, I would move to provide the comment for a court order division, as explained by Christal.
Second. It's been moved and seconded that we approve action item 3B, comment order division, as explained by Christal Ness. Is there any further comment from the commission?
Chair Payne,
Mr. Hornhouse?
I would say thank you, first of all, and for the discussion. The court's gonna do what the court's gonna do, and we don't really have much say in that, but this opportunity to provide comment, if the court accepts our comment, thinks it's good comment, then all of the questions that were brought up today will essentially be addressed. Any future, as was discussed, any future activity in the property going through the regulated process. Review. So it's great. Thank you for putting this together. I think that court accepts it. Add it to the whatever the final order is, that would be great. Appreciate it.
Okay. Seeing no further comment. All those in favor of approving action item 3B, comment for order division, as explained by Christal Ness, indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimous. Oh, the time has come on this agenda for public comment on any public matter within the jurisdiction of the commission that is not on the agenda above. Seeing no more public comment, this meeting is adjourned.